what you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
Sitting here, guess I didn't make bail. Got time and a story to tell. Started with now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 4, volume 1 of Big Fan, the podcast that's sweeping the nation. My name is Chad East, and I'm a big fan of Captain D's, mojitos, and broken-in flip-flops. My man Hank, what are you a big fan of?
I'm a big fan of UNC basketball, weekend grilling, and life's unwritten rules.
Oh, wow. Life's unwritten rules.
I almost put flip-flops on there.
Shut up. Is there something you want to elaborate about life's unwritten rules, or that's just a thought that you want us to dwell on?
Well, you know, I mean, there's just certain things out there that you have to live by, right? And it's looking a man in the eyes when you shake his hand.
Sure.
It's holding a door when you walk into it. It's just life's unwritten rules. And everybody knows them. They're not written down, right? I'll give you an example.
Please.
Just one quick one. Everybody knows we played the member guest. I'm going to jump forward in this conversation before.
Yep.
There's certain unwritten rules in life in golf, right? There's certain rules.
Etiquette, yes.
You don't talk about them. You just know them, okay? Like a certain point when you get on a green, right? You're on a green, ball's relatively close, pretty darn close.
Very close.
And you happen to give it to that person.
Yes.
You say, listen, that's a great shot. You're close enough. How far is that? The unwritten rule is how far is that?
Okay.
Within the leather.
Within the leather.
Within the leather of the putter.
unwritten rule.
Right?
Yes.
You live by those rules. If it's within the leather, you're like everybody knows you're going to take it. We had a match this weekend. Gentleman hits a ball. Okay, we all get up to the green. We all know this gentleman very well.
Yes.
Okay? Ball is sitting 6 feet from the hole. Okay? The other team has the right to give this, right?
That's true.
This gentleman walks over the ball, says, I'm going to take this.
Ooh.
Sets up over the ball, hits the ball, misses the putt, pulls the ball back, misses it a second time. Good thing I took that.
Come on. Oh, that's not even close to being right.
No, but we didn't let him have it.
Okay, good.
Okay?
Thank goodness.
We won that hole.
Yes.
But it's just one of life unwritten rule. You don't take that.
No.
It's within the leather.
Exactly. And typically what happens is, because they're gentlemen on the course, even if you hit a good shot and it's within 2 feet, you don't even really ask. You just kind of wait on the other team to say,
Sure.
Hey, that's good.
Right.
Good shot. That's good.
Yeah.
Happened to me one time this weekend that it was within the leather, and I don't think they saw it, and I really didn't want to putt it, but it was within the leather. I said, hey, y'all, how's that one look? And they were like, oh, that's good.
Yeah.
You know.
That's all right.
So I felt okay, but normally they would just come up and say, hey, take it. But
Right.
They didn't really look and pay attention
And
to
that's
where
a
it was.
sports unwritten rule. There's life unwritten rules.
Certainly.
I just love them.
Yes.
I love them. I love them all.
Oh, good. Way to start the show, Hank. Get us really depressed. Not as a kid. Very nice. Well, speaking of, we are starting the show. We're coming to you on a June 6th, 3 o'clock in the June 5th, 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Tuesday. It's when we normally post this podcast or record this podcast, and just heard some really terrible news, and it's so weird how things in life happen. So Kate Spade, just heard breaking news. She passed away, apparent suicide, which is terrible anyway. But what it's so terrible, suicide obviously awful. Kate Spade, she's a fashion icon, worth millions and millions of dollars, have people all over the world working for her. She passed away. I don't know what was going on with her life, but that's a sad story anyway.
Right.
So when is the last time you probably mentioned Kate Spade's name until we heard today?
Well,
go ahead.
Well, I work in an office with 40 ladies.
Yes.
So the idea that I hear her name quite
Quite
bit
often.
because people are buying these purses
Sure.
and stuff like that. So I do see them. So I'm kind of an anomaly because I have the surrounding
Got
where
it.
I hear this.
Got it. So I probably haven't heard Kate Spade's name in, I don't know, like, let's say 3 years, maybe more recent than that, but just really
Right.
somebody talking about Kate Spade. So last night on Jeopardy, okay, there's a questions, they're popping up and down there that Alex Trebek's asking a question. And the $800 question was initials, and it said fashion icon or blah, blah, or fashion icon made it with her purses. So my family watches Jeopardy together while we eat dinner, 7 o'clock-ish. And I said, Kate Spade. And Lucy Rose and Olivia both said, well, who's Kate Spade?
Right.
And so I go through this whole story about, Kate Spade is this designer, and your mommy's got a bunch of purses. And Jennifer, do you remember when Kate Spade first hit, everybody had to have the
Right.
Kate Spade purse?
Yep.
We were just talking. I haven't mentioned Kate Spade's name in 3 years, and then this
crazy.
happens. Isn't that wild?
It's wild.
Stuff like that in life, sometimes it's really weird how it works out.
Right.
I'll give you another story. When I was a sophomore in high school, this is one of the strangest days of my life. I was at the Foundation Center, and we decided to take a walk to Woolworths. Woolworths had an old soda fountain. Do you remember Woolworths
Yeah,
back in the day?
absolutely.
And so we were leaving the center. We had just finished playing tennis. It was probably noon. Roll up to Woolworths, get you a cherry soda for $1, and you get a hamburger or a French fry. And we're just talking about stories that happened to us in life our 7th grade year. It was the summer. We're talking about, remember this thing that happened in our 7th grade year? So we happened to mention this one person's name. Let's say this girl's name was Christy, let's say. We're walking along, and within 8 steps, we see the name Christy not engraved, but it's in the cement where wet cement was there. Someone named Christy put her name there.
Wow.
And we're like, it's pretty weird. Walk a couple more steps, talk about this dude named Paul. When we're walking, we look to our right. There is a newspaper that's sitting there, and the headline is something about somebody Paul. Not the Paul, but it's still big words, Paul.
Right.
And we're like, we're within 100 yards, Hank. Boom, boom. The third one was even more odd. So we were talking about this person, we'll call this person George, whose mom and dad had this particular car, and nothing bad about the car. We just remember the car always picking up Paul or George from school. And sure enough, we're getting ready to walk into Woolworths, and that car, right when we're talking about it, it just happens to be right in that parking spot. So just sometimes weird stuff like that happens.
You know what that is?
What?
Hillcrest Medium. You're the Hillcrest Medium.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're the Hillcrest Medium.
I invite you guys to come over to my house. We'll sit in the basement. You tell me a few things about your life. Give me $500, and then I can explain what's going to happen.
Pretty soon we're going to have people in here handing you pens and telling them what's going to happen with this. And you're going to say, soon you're going to write a check for a bill.
Dig it. Anyway, I digress. We'll get off that. But Kate Spade, rest in peace. Also, Dwight Clark, yesterday, one of my favorite football players of all time. He passed away from ALS.
Yep.
Hank, I bring this up. We talked a little bit about it before the show started. And my first real football memory was the catch, Joe Montana, to Dwight Clark, 1981 NFC Championship game in San Francisco. Dwight Clark made this heroic catch. Joe Montana's pass was great, too.
Yeah.
First football memory I have, I was 6 years old. Never forget it. Do you remember the play?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the clip that's played the most when you talk about football, like clips. That clip is probably played more than any other.
you're
I mean,
right.
everybody's seen that clip. I bet our kids have seen that clip and
Yes.
could recognize it. So, what an icon for the sport, and sorry that and to watch, ALS is a terrible disease, and to watch these heroes that everybody that dies of this is a hero. It really is. But to watch these men that you idolize or women that you idolize that are supernatural,
Right.
like especially athletes, supernatural. I don't know if you knew Gleason. I think his last name was Gleason. He played for the Saints. Right? He came out of Oregon, I believe, and he was returning punts, and he returned that punt for a touchdown, and he's got ALS, and he is a shell of the athlete he was before. But if you see, and we're not talking about 20 years different, we're talking about 6, 7, 8 years difference, and it's just a terrible disease. God, it's just awful.
Speaking of that, Dwight Clark told the NFL, he said, Dwight Clark was a smart dude, right? Smart dude. He said, football contributed to what's going on with me right now. He said it last year. So anyway, the NFL's got a lot of stuff on their plate right now to deal with. You got concussions and you got all kinds. A lot of the young kids, their parents aren't letting them play football anymore. So anyway, good luck, NFL. And hey, Dwight Clark, rest in peace. Thank you for
the catch.
Enlightening us with that catch. Do you know he played at Clemson? I learned this yesterday. Played at Clemson. You know how many balls he caught his career at Clemson?
How many?
12. You know what round he got drafted in the NFL?
What?
He got drafted in the 10th round. You know why?
Why?
Bill Walsh, his senior year, he roomed with the quarterback for Clemson. His last name was Fuller. Bill Walsh called to ask for Steve Fuller, I think that's what his name was, to say, hey, we're interested in you. Hey, work on this, and we'll go see you in camp or combines before the draft.
Right.
He happened to not be in his room, but Dwight Clark answered the phone and was like, hey, Coach, I know my numbers aren't very good, but I can play in the NFL.
Wow.
Give me a chance. Give me a chance. And Bill Walsh remembered that. So in the 10th round, when the NFL draft used to go gobs of rounds, drafted him in the 10th round. Joe Montana, Dwight Clark drafted in the same year, became close friends. The rest is history. The rest is history.
Yeah,
Isn't that wild how stuff like that works?
It is awesome.
God, unbelievable. Oh, whoa, it's pretty deep. That's a deep start to the show,
We
bud.
shoved a lot in right there at the
Golly.
beginning, man.
Very deep. Well, let's go a little bit more easier tone here, and let's let our guys know about the tennis. Remember the tennis? So
Yeah, with the birthday.
the birthday that led into the
tennis,
tennis.
everything. Yeah, let's talk about that because
Go ahead, lead us off.
It was I can only talk about 2 of the events because we talked about 3. I was hoping to make it to 3, but I only was able to make it to 2. And the first was tennis. Let's remind our listeners that we had not had a victory up until that point, right?
Sucked.
So we walk into this thinking we need a victory.
It's our last match of the year.
And we're going against somebody that has already whooped us twice.
Yes.
Right? So we go into this. You're playing number 1 singles. You didn't get to play the guy that played at the beginning.
Right.
But you were there, ready to.
Ready. If he was there, I was going to be there.
That's exactly right. So we go into this, and we've got to win 3 out of 5 matches.
3 out of 5.
Okay? So we get there, and the other club shows up, and they forfeit 2 immediately. They forfeit 2 immediately. But they come with 3 teams.
Yes.
Which means if we lose this match, they have swept all 3, right?
Yes.
And you know that they're coming with some guns, right? So Chad goes number 1 singles. Number 1 doubles go out. And number 2 doubles go out, which is you're at singles. We have another group at number 1, and then yours truly is at number 2 singles.
Yes.
Doubles, right?
Doubles, yes.
We start in our match. I don't know what's going on, but I see you come out early. Okay? So when you come out early, it's either you got beat or
Right.
you did some beating.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
The one beside us, they came off the court and they're happy-go-lucky. Right? They're happy-go-lucky. So I think maybe we got this in the bag. But let me tell you about our match. Okay? Our match, we lost the first set in a tiebreaker. Okay? Go up 4-1 in the second set. Tied it up at 4-4.
Holy cow.
Okay? 4-4. It opens up. Starts raining. Right?
Yes, you're right.
We're on hard courts. It gets slippery. We all run off, right? So the old guy we were playing, and this guy.
And we're talking old. We're not saying like 48, 50 years old.
This guy had a 7 in front of his age. This cat looks at me and he goes, I guess we can just have you guys forfeit. We'll take this. Now, there was a little bit of discussion about what's the gentleman thing to do here, right? Because we've already won the match because you won.
Yeah, 6-0, 6-1.
Because you won.
Yes.
Because the other match won. It might be a gentlemanly thing to do to give them that last victory, just to get, just give them something
Give
for
some.
it. Hell no. Not no, but hell no. Right. I said, listen, these are the rules. You can come back down here at any day you want, and we'll finish this matchup. Now, they live about an hour and 15 away, right? They're like, yeah, we're not going to have that. We're going to forfeit. I was like, peace. I got another victory.
Congratulations.
We swept them,
We
baby.
got a
First
clean sweep. It was a really good feeling. And after the tennis match, of course, we want to celebrate.
Of course. Of course.
So we pile in the cars. We head to our favorite little trusty spot, good old El Paso, where the big margaritas are consumed. How y'all drink those big beers so fast? And we're not talking about just the normal beer or the 2 beer. We're talking about they put 3 beers in what y'all drink.
Yeah,
right?
It's a big beer.
I think it's huge.
It's a big beer.
Yeah, so y'all go through two, sometimes 3. Oh, 2.
2.
Okay, 2. We'll keep it at 2. All right, just for the podcast, and a couple margaritas, and everyone's feeling good. We're doing toast and we're doing cheers, and everyone's feeling pretty well.
Did you see the margarita Mark had?
Yes, I did.
It was not just a margarita. It had 2 Coronas shoved in it. Did you see that?
Yes. And he knocked that thing down like a champ.
And he was banged.
Yes, he was. That got him. That thing got him. But it was a great time at El Paso. I left my wonderful team and I cruised on down to Bourbon Street, that's where the music happens. And one of the guys that was at the table with us actually came on, joined me. Mr. Charlie Zagaroli joined me at the Bourbon. Did I tell you that? Did you know that? Okay. He joined us, and so as soon as we get there, there's a little mob of people. Hank, I am not lying. It was crazy. They were like,
Hillcrest mob?
This is a cougar mob of 60 to 70-year-old women. There's about 12 of them, and they're probably not that old. They're probably in their 50s, 60s, into their 70s.
1 or 2 in their 70s?
Yes, definitely. And so we get there, and they're waiting. And so we're walking in. They're like, there they are. There they are.
Oh, yeah.
So mic check, boom, boom, boom. Get on stage. Supposedly I'm not supposed to open up. I was going to be the second gutting on stage, but they're like, hey, Chad, we need you. Come on. Pop up on the stage, Hank. This is no lie. Grab the mic stand. Boom. Play it. Within 8 seconds, it's Cry to Me, Solomon Burke. I told you what and I start with it. One of the cougars gets on the mic stand and starts dry humping the mic stand within 8 seconds.
8 seconds.
As soon as I grab it, boom, the music comes on. Then you just start seeing this da, da, da. And so I pull the mic stand back just a little bit, pull the mic out of the mic stand, and I'm keeping my distance, but I'm singing, I'm crooning, I'm doing my thing. It was a great set. Charlie Zag came up and killed it. Instead of 5 songs, we played 9.
Whoa.
They gave us 9 songs.
Wow.
So following that, we're all outside, just reveling in our awesomeness. We think we're so cool. We were able to do this. We're really not very cool. But another guy who owns a bar said, hey, that's not bad. We have our Wednesday night set opposite of Bourbon Streets. You guys are more than welcome to come up there and play for an hour on the opposite Wednesday night of the Bourbon Street.
Wow.
We got 2 gigs now, buddy.
2 gigs?
2 gigs. Yes.
Every Wednesday now.
Every Wednesday now. One's at the old Alicios. Now it's called The Spot. Right? Hey, that's one. And the other is Bourbon Street. That's every other Wednesday.
So we're going to do this Wednesday night every Wednesday?
I don't know. I think it's going to be too much. I told my wife about it, and she was like,
none too
really?
happy?
I don't think so. But anyway, this will make us practice a little bit more so we can actually kind of get better. But anyway, we'll probably limit it to 2, maybe 1 Alicios, 1 Bourbon Street per month.
Hey, that seems reasonable.
It's a good start.
Seems reasonable. Yeah. How many hours were we on stage?
What time did I leave that place? 9:45, and we got 2 hours. We were on stage for 2 hours.
But the Alicios place, the Spot's only going to give you an hour.
Yes, but if we're good and people are drinking beer and ordering shots, they might say, hey, play another one. Play another one. Yeah, the cool thing about being a rock star, Hank, is when I walk up to the bar
right there.
I'm just kidding, but I did walk up to the bar after I did my 2 or 3 songs, and the bartender did like this. She's probably about 65-year-old lady. She owns the bar, real sweet lady named Kitty. She gave me a wink like this. This one's on the house, son.
Yeah,
this one's on the house, son.
Just one?
She slid it, and I caught it. Thank you, Kitty.
Thank you, Kitty.
And I walked on down. Down. So that
rock star.
Yeah, it felt good. But that kind of wraps up my birthday celebration.
Awesome.
Yeah, so the following week was Memorial Day. We had some bad weather down here in Hickory, North Carolina. Got on the lake a little bit. You had your beach trip. I was thinking about you.
Mountain
trip. Pouring rain. Were you inside the whole time?
It was so spotty, man. It was suspect. It was. We were able to get out some, but not what we needed to get out. I mean, we've got kids and everything, close quarters. So, but it was fun. I mean, we got to play golf. We got to hike. It was good.
Cool. So Memorial Day behind us, it led right into this past weekend, which was the member guest golf tournament that you alluded to earlier. Tell us some of the highlights, Hank.
Well, getting screwed with a putt was one of them, right?
That hurts.
So the good thing about the member guest is the camaraderie, right? It's we all drink beer and have fun and everything else. We all suck at golf.
Yeah.
That's kind of the deal. We're not better than what we think we are. But the matchups are the crazy things. The stag night's fun. We have a good time when we're doing that. But it's the matchups and the on-the-course shenanigans that you have, okay? So there was a ton of great times, and there was a lot of golf played, and there was a lot of good stuff. The one thing that we do, and I couldn't remember the name last time, is the Thurgood.
Yes.
Okay, so for the people out there that don't know what a Thurgood is 1 shot of whiskey, 1 shot of scotch, and a beer. Okay? And that's how it goes. Boom, boom, boom. Right? You hammer both of them. I mean, all 3 of them. And a lot of people say that they want to do this. Right? Right? And I love doing it. I don't love doing that. Let me rephrase that. I don't. It's awful. And my brother-in-law makes me do it. So we get probably how many people?
8 to 10, easy.
Yep.
This is what we walk into right here.
This is what you walk into the bar doing. This is it. But the problem is that he's got all these people that have had a lot of beers earlier, and next thing you know, they're lined up in front of him. I think 3 people finished what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. I was one that did not finish.
Dude, you didn't get past the first shot.
I couldn't get the first one down.
You could not get past the first shot.
Why?
And I was disappointed in you.
I was very disappointed myself, but it's better than vomiting all over the bar, and I did not want to do that either.
You want me to tell you what happened after that? I don't know if you know what happened after
I think Carson ended up drinking all the rest of
my brother-in-law, which we
Yes.
alluded to, is an absolute moron.
Yes.
But is a great guest partner.
Perfect.
Stepped into your spot.
Yes.
Finished your Thurgood. That's a man.
That dude was a man.
That is a man.
Thank you, Carson. I did lose a lot of cool points, but Hank, I would have lost more if I would have taken. I'm telling you, it would have been a nightmare because that was a long day. The previous night was even longer, so
Yeah.
I needed just to take a swallow of that first one and move on. But thank you, Carson. And I wanted to ask you this too. And was Carson making fun of me the rest? I couldn't tell. I can never tell if Carson's serious about what he's saying or if he's trying to really stick a knife in my back.
No.
He was asking me the night before we got a ride home, and I was like, look how beautiful the moon is. Do you remember this?
I do.
I was just enthralled, but the moon was just gorgeous that night. So every time I'd see him, he said, hey, man, check out that sunset. Was he kidding with me or was – okay.
He was just giving you a hard time.
Oh, God, that dude's hilarious.
He was just giving you a hard time.
But at one time he said, Chad, look at the sky. It really is nice and beautifully pink.
Right.
Was he still trying to just give me a hard time? Okay,
yes.
I thought
He
he
was
was
just
serious.
giving you a hard time.
Okay.
Hey, but the only other thing that I have to mention is, getting home safely is one of the most important things that you
Certainly.
can do to remember guests.
Yes.
So the second night, we played an extra 9, and everybody leaves, right? Well, there's these kids that take us home, and they're the cart guys, right? And they
Yeah.
love us because we tip
Oh,
them,
yes.
and they love us. So they drive my car, and they've got one following them, and they're driving. So we were hungry. So we were like, where do we want to go? El Paso. Well, first of all, we decided on El Paso because you looked at us and you said, let's go to El Paso, right?
I
Do you
did.
remember that?
I remember it.
Then when we get to El Paso, you're like, we're at Standard Oyster. And I'm like, this son of a gun. So when we pull into El Paso, though, this 18-year-old kid's like, all right, man, you good from here? Yeah, we're good from here, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, wait a minute. Y'all want some dinner? Right?
Yes,
These
of
two
course.
18-year-old boys were
Of
like,
course.
yeah, I want some dinner. So they walked in there and ate with us, right? It was great. It's fun, hanging out with. That's the funny part of this is you hang out with people you don't.
Yeah, you never get a chance to speak
The 18-year-old
with them.
guy
Yes.
is so funny. He's so dumb. Just like we all were.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't know anything when you're 18 years old.
I don't know anything when I'm
Sure.
41, but
True, good point.
it was great. It was great. I think they had a good time. We had a good
Yes.
time.
Yes.
But it was fun. How about you? Anything crazy?
No, nothing really crazy. It's your standard, 3 days of golf, party on Saturday night, which you don't attend, which is probably smart because that is the end of many a golfer. Is after the round of golf, you're going to the party from 6 to 11. That's 5 more hours after you've been there since 9 o'clock in the morning. That's a long day. So I was told possibly my shirt came off for a little bit on the dance floor. I don't think that's fact. It might have come off the shoulder just a little bit and then might have popped it back
popped
on. Popped it back on.
Yeah. Seen that.
Yeah, you've seen that before. So I did. Someone challenged me to a dance off. It was a gal.
Who dared?
It was a gal who challenged me last year, and then she ended up falling off the dance floor last year. Do you remember this?
I don't think I remember that.
Well, anyway, you weren't there, but there's a good story. So anyway, her husband grabbed her and said, no, not this year, honey.
No more dance off.
So the dance off got canceled. Went home at a decent hour, 11ish, where I heard some people stay to about 1 or 2.
Ooh.
Yes.
Can I tell you a funny thing?
Please.
So a guy that I don't know too well came up to me on Sunday morning, right?
Yes.
And he was like, "Is that your crew over there?" And it was you and Jeremy and
everybody.
Yeah,
The
our
crew.
crew.
The crew.
I said, "Yeah, that's us. Those are my boys over there." He said, "Let me ask you a question." I said, "All right." He was like, "Look at all them, just beat up, beat up. Look at their faces are dragging, their arms are dragging. They just look like hell.
Yes.
Look at there, Chad East, bebopping." He said he looks as fresh as a daisy. I was like, dude, he's a machine.
Oh.
He just needs to change the oil. He's back on the party, baby.
Believe me, I was putting on a front because I felt like hell that day. I mean, I put on a nice face, but I'm telling you, inside it was hurting.
You're banged.
But whoever said that, thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Alan,
I'm Chris.
and we're the co-hosts of Foot Candle Films, a movie review and film discussion show here on themesh.tv.
Each episode, we talk about some new movies, cover some film news, and have some recommendations.
And trust us, we're just as likely to talk about the latest Jim Jarmusch film as we are the newest Transformers installment.
Hold on, don't get too crazy.
Well, okay, maybe not that bad. But you can find our show and all our episodes on themesh.tv. Plus, you can subscribe to get new episodes delivered right to your computer or mobile device.
We'll see you in the ticket line.
All right, Hank, you ready to move on?
Let's do it.
Let's go to everybody's favorite segment of the show, Hank's Hierarchy.
Ooh. You get with this? You always get real fast.
Hank can get with this. Oh, Hank can get with that. Hank. Okay, Hankaroonie. This isn't going to be a different Hank's Hierarchy this year. This is going to be our segment of Hank's Hierarchy that we call the Moral Conundrum.
Oh, Lord.
So what happens in the Moral Conundrum, Hank? I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to ask it as honestly as you can. It's really just your opinion. I value your opinion.
Okay.
So this will be interesting. Hank, if you had a choice between you receiving $10,000 for you or one of your best friends, not family member, but best friends, receiving $100,000, what would you choose and why?
No question.
Here's a stipulation. They can't know that you had the choice to make. It's either they just happen to luck into $100,000 or you happen to luck into $10,000. They don't know that you have the choice to make sure they get that $100,000.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay. There's a couple layers to this.
There's lots of layers.
There's a couple layers to this. Okay. Could $10,000 help me? Absolutely. Could help anybody,
Yes.
right? But as I've grown old in my age, I started realizing then more and more that, there's more important things in life.
Sure.
Right? There are. And money is not one of them. Now, happiness, people see it different ways, but I would definitely want to see the $100,000 go to somebody else.
Wow.
Especially if it, you can never dictate. Like if it went to CJ, I'd want to throw him off a mountain. But, especially if it went to somebody that needed it.
Sure.
Because I feel like that's, I'm a big believer in karma. And I believe you do good deeds come back to you.
I agree.
I've throughout my life, I feel like there's been ups and downs, and I feel like I've been blessed with a lot of good karma. I feel like my family has been, and I feel like that's just be one more good karma thing that I'd get repaid for in the future some other way, because that $10,000, $100,000 in the grand scheme of things, and some of the stuff that's going on in my life, I wouldn't trade. If you added another zero or another zero, it wouldn't have mattered.
Wow, because that was going to be my next question, but that's very gracious of you. Very gracious. In your mind, when you say that, do you let's say the person that got it was, let's say it's Michael Banks, right?
Yeah.
So $100,000, it's like he wins a lottery ticket, wins $100,000.
Right.
And I know actually all of our friends, if they fell into $100,000, they're going to do something for their friends anyway. And we don't even need to look at it like that. We're doing something that's nice for someone we care about. But in the end, they're going to turn around and say, all right, y'all, let's go to the golf course or let's go have a party.
Right.
And you're going to get it back tenfold.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And they would do it. I mean, that's the deal with hanging out with good people.
Yeah.
Is they're going to make good decisions. And you're exactly right. Would it benefit all of us because we have fun, we have party? Absolutely. But
memories.
It's probably going to benefit other people as well.
Sure.
That probably need it more than them.
Yes.
So
yes.
Absolutely. I mean, I'd hate it if Michael wanted to because I don't want to punch him in the face. But no, I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you. How about shoe on the other foot?
Yeah, I agree with you. I would pass it on to someone else. For the reasons you gave were perfect. That's why I believe in karma too. You do good deeds, and that I really do feel like we always say we're blessed. A lot of the stuff the reason we are so happy and good things have happened to us is because we're good people. Well, that's what I believe anyway. Like if you do good things for people and if you're friendly to people, I tell my girls this all the time. Smile, greet someone with a positive attitude. I'm telling you, they will remember it. They'll want you to be around. When all these wonderful things are happening, you're going to be the person that they want around. And so you'll get experience all these things you might not if you have a sour face and you're like, this sucks. Be positive.
Right.
It comes back to you tenfold.
Yeah. Did you hear? Okay, so I know you're not a huge baseball fan. You like baseball, but not a fan like I am. But the MLB draft was yesterday.
Yes.
Okay. And did you see the kid from Auburn went number one? Okay. And he didn't get drafted out of high school. So, a lot of these kids are great prospects in high school, get drafted out of high school, then they have, they further their career because they didn't get drafted high enough. And to get non-drafted and then to be drafted number one is pretty
Huge
special.
deal. Yeah,
pretty
huge
special. He's a pretty special kid.
Right.
When they talked to him about getting drafted, if he wanted to get to that point where he was drafted, he was like, they asked who your mentor and hero was. And he said his dad, right?
Cool.
And he said, the reason for it is ever since I was little, my dad pressed upon me to be a better man than I was an athlete or a better man than I was anything else. Right. And that's what he put it. He said, my work ethic and my, everything that I've accomplished is because I wasn't set forth to be in the MLB. It was because I was trying to be a good person and I was trying to do good things, and it led to a good work ethic, and it led to these certain things. And I feel like that positive attitude does that, and it is the people that you're running into life. And whether it's your dad or your brother or buddy or a kid you mentor or whatever, right? Those are the important things. Those are the relationship things that were that are important.
Absolutely. So it doesn't change your mind at all if I add 4 zeros to that. And so now it's $1 million to you, or it's 10 million to your friend. So $1 million, that's life changing. 10 million, that's life changing money. But $1 million for you. Again, no one has to know this.
Right.
That's the stipulation. No one knows. $1 million doesn't change your mind.
No.
Wow.
Now
that's pretty.
Now,
that is so gracious.
No. And people are going to think that this is crap going on here, and I know that. But I really, honestly believe that it comes back.
Wow, Hank.
I do. And if you're good, then it'll be good. And if some of the things didn't happen in my life or in my family's life or whatever, I might think differently. But too much crap's going on. In one of these stories, in one of these shows, I'll share some of them. But there's too much stuff that's going on that it doesn't prove to me that things happen because they're supposed to happen. And I've been given, I feel like, millions of dollars in experience in life and stuff like that.
Wonderful. Well, I'm gonna be a dick and take the $1 million.
Take it.
Come on over here. Make it rain, baby.
We're going to Vegas.
We heading to Vegas.
I will tell you that I said if I ever won the lottery, I'm just calling all of you, and all I'm saying is meet at the airport.
That's it. Exactly.
Don't bring Jack.
Right. We talked about this. Remember, every time we get excited about what would we do if we won all this money, and it's go to Vegas. Don't bring a suitcase. Nothing. It's going to be taken care of.
Just meet
show
me
up.
at the airport. Where are we going? Shut up. Meet me at the airport.
Exactly.
Bring your girls. When we get off the plane, girls are going to go first. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go. Here's 20 grand. Here's 20 grand. Here's 20 grand. Here's 20 grand. Go. Shop. Boys, step on. Here's 50 grand. Here's 50 grand. Here's 50 grand. Let's go.
Yes, every time we talk about those stories about what we would do, I always get so happy. I get crazy hype because what if it could happen?
Oh yeah.
What if it could happen? Oh, anyway, hey. So, what do you think about the first moral conundrum from the Big Fan podcast?
Oh, I think it was pretty good. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, and hey, you know what? Hopefully, there's more of those moral conundrums.
Sure.
Maybe one day I go against the moral decision. Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? Well, yes. Well, good answers there, Hank. And that puts us right into our Chad's hierarchy.
Chad's champions.
Chad's champions. I'm looking at something here. You talk for a minute. Let me find something.
This is one of my favorite parts. Don't kill this thing. Because you always, during the champions, you got to think out of the box.
Yes, here we go. I don't have this right song, but you're the best around, and nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best. Okay, here we go for Chad's champions, Hank. I need your top 4 list. So far, we've done a food segment, Chad's champions. We've done some songs. We've done a couple other things, maybe a movie or two, but we're going to stay in the movie genre. We're going to go Chad's champions top 4 Quentin Tarantino movies. Are you a Quentin Tarantino fan, first of all?
Probably one of my top movies is a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Wonderful. So I am a big fan as well. He covers over a long segment of my life. Really, when I got out of high school was the first time I started jumping into maybe right in high school, Quentin Tarantino movies. But anyway, Hank, I'm going to start us off here with my number 4. First of all, I'm going to start with the movies that did not make it, because there's a few classics in here. Here's our just missed category for Chad. Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. Kill Bill Volume 1 to me was superb, and I'm really surprised it did not kind of slide in, but one kind of just nudged it out at the end. Kill Bill Volume 2, phenomenal. Also didn't make it. Jackie Brown, the first time I saw it, I was like, You watch it a couple more times, you're like, damn, this is really good. Lastly, Reservoir Dogs. That's one that kind of always slides into people's top 4. I've only seen it once. Maybe I need to give it another look, because it's fabulous, but it just didn't make it into my top 4. Hank, give me some of your just misses.
My list probably isn't as big, so I can't tell. When we started doing this, I can put down 4. I can't put down 5, 6, 7 because the Kill Bill volumes would take me, but I lumped those two together.
You're right.
Okay. So can I go ahead with my number 4?
Please start us off.
My number 4 is the Kill Bill volumes. Okay.
Great.
I love the fight scenes in those things.
Yes.
And I love I think his storyline in that, it could have wavered for me. It could have gone up further, but I loved Kill Bill.
Oh, love it too, Hank. And to think it's, what's her name?
Uma Thurman
is just perfect in that role.
She really is.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's sweet and she's beautiful, but she's got this little side to her, this edge that's a killer.
Yep.
Just wonderful. Coming into my 4 hole is Django. And if you remember Django Unchained, it was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Jamie Foxx set in the South during slavery. It's just terrible. But for what happens during the movie, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. It's just got 3 scenes. It's not consist of many scenes. It's 3 major scenes, and you're mesmerized by all of these 3 scenes. It's pretty powerful stuff. Django Unchained, my number 4.
Okay, number 3 for me, Reservoir Dogs.
Okay.
The reason I love Reservoir Dogs is that's the one that made me fall in love with how messed up Tarantino is. Right? I mean, it was a storyline that you really had to pay attention to. It was unlike everything. I don't know when it came out, but I always want to put it.
I got it right here.
The same
date,
time is
1992.
Okay. It was a little bit before, but I always think of it like how serious and like complicated that movie was, and then it was like Ace Ventura was out at the same time. You're like,
exactly.
This is crazy. Yeah. So it's number 3 for me.
Good job. Number 3 coming in for Mr. East, it's going to be Inglourious Bastards. Inglourious Bastards came out, I'm going to find us a date, 2009. Hank, and it was set in World War II when the Germans were just...
Pearl Harbor?
Were just murdering innocent Jews. It was terrible. And so the beginning scene, I don't know if you remember, the Jewish folks are hiding underneath a floor, and the terrible German, one of those generals or whatever, is walking around on the floor looking for them. And you can that scene lasts about 14, 15 minutes, but it seems like it lasts an hour because it's so tense. Christopher Waltz is the German guy, and it continues to even get better after that. So coming in for 3, for me, Quentin Tarantino movie, Inglourious Bastards.
Well, you're going to make it easy for me because that's my number 2.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
I think it was a great movie. I think... his addition to it, it's so tense. Like his movies, he's put those situations where it's so tense, and the scene that you were talking about is so tense. I thought it was a great movie.
Yes. Coming in 2 for me, it's not a film that Quentin Tarantino directed. It's actually one that he wrote. And he wrote this film when he was a young buck, and they made it into a movie. It's called True Romance. Do you remember the movie True Romance, Hank? It's got
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
No. It's got Christian Slater, and it's got the girl, her name is Alabama in the movie. I'll try to find a little bit more information. But anyway, Christian Slater's like Elvis Presley. She always says, "You're so cool. You're so cool." So anyway, Tarantino didn't direct it, but he wrote it. And this movie is a must see for you Tarantino fans. True Romance, number 2.
Wow. That was it.
You got to see it, man. I'm
I
telling
haven't
you.
seen that movie.
It's fabulous.
Well, maybe that'll move up my list.
Yeah.
Number 1 for me is probably my favorite movie. I think it was when the time that it was going on. Such a cool movie. The twists and turns with it and how it connects to it. The next scene is pretty cool. Pulp Fiction.
It's a no-brainer. Pulp Fiction for me, too. I mean, if you're a Tarantino fan, Pulp Fiction is the one that it's always going to stick with you. Just like you said, there's so many scenes, and the way he mixes the scenes up, the time frame, and you're a little confused, but you love it so much.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're trying to figure it out. And have we ever figured out what's in the suitcase?
I don't know.
Have you heard the rumors?
The Devil's Soul?
Yeah, I've heard the Devil's Soul. I heard plutonium to make a bomb. Gold, money. You've heard everything, but
Right.
the Devil's Soul is what I probably think is in there.
Right.
So anyway, Hank, that wraps up Chad's Champs, the Quentin Tarantino episode. Very good on that. I do want to mention one other one that we didn't talk about. I just saw on here. It was. This one's not very. Remember, he did that little group of Grindhouse and the old movies, like drive-in movies, horror ones.
Right.
He did that group too, and he also did this Dusk Till Dawn.
I was going to say Dusk Till Dawn.
Dusk Till Dawn.
That is one of the sexiest. When it was, what's her name?
Pretty sexy. Selma Hayek.
Selma Hayek, when she was dancing in that place and she turned into a vampire.
Yeah.
Dude, that
Yes.
scene's worth it right there, bro.
Pretty awesome.
Man, that's a pretty good scene. So Dusk Till Dawn. Are we done
Yeah,
with
we're
Chad's
good.
Champions?
Yep.
The one thing that I think I forgot to talk about this the last time we were here, and I wanted to remind you, and I said, remind me of that.
Yeah.
Because you were doing the best around
Oh, Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai. Now, have
to
you
us.
seen this?
No.
Okay, have you heard about this?
Of course.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, I've only watched the first 2 episodes. I have talked to people that have grinded straight through.
Oh, wow.
Multiple people because
Yes.
of what's going on. And I've only seen the first 2, obviously. Can I tell you, like, the premise, not to give anything away, but the premise?
Sure.
Okay, so Johnny, obviously, after that, became hard on his luck. People were like, you got your ass kicked, blah, blah, blah. He's a handyman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he's working around town. He's got to pick up his car because he gets in an accident, and he ends up at LaRusso's dealership, right? LaRusso kind of clowns him a little bit. His boys at the dealership was like, isn't this the guy whose ass you kicked? Right?
Oh, wow.
So it all kind of goes, you see what's going on, what's happening to LaRusso, what's happening to Johnny. Well, Johnny goes eats a burrito at this like convenience store, and these kids start picking on this guy and push him on Johnny's car.
Yeah.
And Johnny's like, get off my car. Well, he proceeds to whoop these kids' ass.
Yeah.
Right? Not to protect the kid, but to protect
His
his
car.
Right?
Yes.
So the guy Johnny finds out that this kid is just getting bullied, and he's a loser, and that's what he calls him. He's like, you're a loser, you don't get any girls, come on. And he realizes, I could start a dojo to help you losers.
Wow.
Right? So that's
Yes.
what he does.
That's the premise of the Cobra Kai. I love
He
this.
tells them, this guy, bring your loser friends over here, and I'll help you get chicks. The bad kind of stuff that Johnny was about. But he was like, I hope you get chicks. I hope you get popular. I hope
Yes.
you whoop those kids that are
Yes,
messing with you.
whoop
I'll help
their
you
ass. Yep.
Get into their the end of their ass.
Yeah.
The funny thing is when they start talking about the relationship with Johnny, and they start talking about, why do you hate LaRusso so much? He was like, dude, he bullied me in high school. And they were like, what? He bullied me because he was like, I was the stud in the high school, had this chick. LaRusso moves in, steals my girl, right? Starts taking karate to try to kick my ass. I was in the toilet rolling a joint. He comes in and just puts
water on me.
Just
Yes.
to say it. So LaRusso was the bully. I was just taking it from him. right? Makes you think.
Wow, I've never even. I don't. Still, go ahead.
At the end of the second episode,
Yeah.
I like Johnny better than I do LaRusso.
Is that right?
Yes. Wait till you watch it. Wait till you watch it. It is great.
TV. Must see TV. Well, thank you. That's a good intro. That has actually got me very excited to check this out for sure. I checked out this show yesterday. It started on HBO. It's called. Of course, I can't remember what it's called. We'll come back to that next week. It's about when you successors. So what it's about, this guy has built this multi-billion-dollar industry company, and he's getting ready to retire, and he has three sons, one daughter. They're trying to figure out how they're going to succeed when this father passes.
Right.
So it's funny, and it's also cutthroat. It also applies to things you see. I mean, I'm in the same. We're not trying to kill it, but I have my family-owned business, and you are too.
Yeah.
So anyway, a lot of things that happen every day applies. It's interesting to see. So check that. Successors just started Sunday. HBO. I think there's 8 episodes. It's only been through episode 1. How about that, Hank?
I'm going to watch that.
Okay, please do. All right, buddy. So that's going to wrap up the Big Fan for today. Again, guys, we have been hearing just wonderful things from people that are our friends and that would listen to the podcast anyway, and some people that don't even know us have just met us in the street like, holy cow, that podcast is really good. When's the next episode coming? So anyway, if you're one of those guys and want to download it or subscribe, please check us out, www.themesh.tv. Also, you can email us at info@themesh.tv. We'll be happy to listen to what you might have to say about a moral conundrum you may have, or even talk to us about the moral conundrum that I posed to Hank today. We'd love to hear your stuff, maybe even put it on the air.
It's easy to do. It's easy to do
okay.
because my mom was wondering about how to get it on her phone. And I said, let's just do it together. She walked through it, subscribed, boom, on her phone.
There it is. And also, I listened to a couple other shows on the Mesh Network this past weekend when I was laying up in the middle of the night, my head swirling, and I couldn't go to bed. So Hootie Bowman has got a podcast that he posted here last week called Center City Drive, where he talks about food in the area, where to eat. It's pretty good. And obviously Chick Chat and all the other wonderful shows on the Mesh. Check them all out, and definitely subscribe to Big Fan as well. Hank, big weekend this weekend. Go ahead.
Big weekend because we finally don't have anything to do.
Exactly.
We just wrapped up, remember guys, and we just wrapped up baseball for the year.
Oh, wow.
So that's always tough because my little boy loves it. I love it. And this is the last year on Kiwanis number 2. So Kiwanis number 2 is a field that I opened up.
Remember
when I was 9 years old, and we're playing on the same field. And one of my fondest memories, I don't remember every game, I don't remember every pitch. One of my fondest memories is being called to be on the All-Star team. The last championship game that we weren't in the championship game, where you go to that championship game, and then at the end of the game they give out trophies, and then they said, "Let's announce our All-Stars." And it was the first All-Star game team I ever made, and it's nerve-wracking because you don't know if you're going to make it.
Yes.
My little boy wants to go Thursday to see if he made the All-Star team.
Good.
So, it'd be cool if he made it because I made it on that same field, played on that same field. But I feel the nerves for him because, you don't know.
Yes. And your buddies are out there too. What if one of them makes it, you don't make it, or vice versa? It's a very nerve-wracking experience.
Nerve-wracking.
Well, good luck to Harris. I hope it all works out.
Appreciate it.
And, it's also the last day of school for kids, Hickory City kids. So our last day of school is Friday. Mm-hmm. So
summer.
Yes, summer it's upon us, baby.
It is.
Summer's upon us. So our next episode, we'll talk about some cool things that you can do, summer vacations that we've done in our past. We'll maybe tell some stories. We'll tell some stories, Hank.
How about you?
It's last day of school, so I promised Lucy Rose we'd camp out in the yard Friday night. So we're camping out in the yard in little tents. She and Olivia and I, and if Mommy wants to join us, we'll be there just in our backyard. And then Saturday, I think we're taking it easy, working in the yard, going to the pool. Pool is open. Pool's here. It's time.
I was there 2 days ago.
Really?
To the pool.
Very nice. So we'll probably hit the pool, and then Sunday, just rest up. But anyway, we need some rest, Hank. It has been a busy month.
Your liver needs some rest.
Yeah. And next month, And next month, we need 1 week off. We'll get cranked back up. Just need a little time.
Give me a little time.
Just a little time. That's right. All right, buddy. It's good to see you. I'll see you 2 weeks. Big fan. Peace.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.